Tonight we have so many great things to celebrate here. And this brings this wonderful group of folks in, parents and grandparents and everything. So we're going to start off right now by talking about the Mount Hope Science Fair. It was once again an impressive display of talent, hard work, and thought. We extend a special thanks to you, to the Mount Hope Science teachers, for all of the extra time put into helping students. The students for continuing to improve their projects and presenting themselves in a professional way, and family members for their support. So we're going to start right off with the third place winners, okay? If you could come up and just shake hands and just stand and make a nice round half circle, okay? Eliza Atkins. Nicole Black. Lenny Camilla. Alvin Devine. Carly Ferreira. Margaret Godfrey. Alice Grantham, Lydia Mancini, Aditi Mehta, Rachel Ouellette, Isabel Shaw, Nathan Silvera, Christopher Soslowski, Caitlin D'Souza, and Christus Squatrita. Okay, so now we're going to go to second place. Thomas Abendroth, Hannah Allen, Jack Carpentier, Megan Dolan, Andy Foreman, Julian Kenny, Sophia Mead, Ellie Kentucky, Sierra Missouri, Ellen Nygaard, Vicky Peroni, Lucas Shears, Sarah Winters, that's second place, so we have one couple of each representing. So you're our representative. Thank you.
Who's telling you about his project? It's actually pretty cool. You should get up there and see.
Okay, now we're going to go to first place. Now, I hope some of those folks show up. Okay. Okay, let's hope they show. Joshua Bartozevich, Haley Borsey, Mackenzie Boucher, Ellie Shabbat, Madison Cornell, Madison, congratulations. You might be the representative. Congratulations. Maya Canelo, Brooke Desmars, Ella Hanley, Ella, congratulations. Look at that smile. Look at that smile, huh? Nicholas Genario, Warren Luck, Julian Parker, you made it. Thank you. Congratulations. First place, you guys. Jesus. Madison Rodriguez. Lauren Serps. Samantha Soares. Samantha, you made it. Come on. Congratulations. Great. Laura Thurber. Lila Pacheco. Sophia Beecraft. Okay, I guess we had some other places that were a little more important for a person to be like maybe playing in a basketball game or watching it. And so thank you all for coming tonight, parents and friends, grandparents. Thank you.
signed up for public comment tonight, so just as a reminder, generally with public comment, we allot 3 minutes per person, and you can come up to the podium if you just state your name, and then begin your statement. That would be helpful for us, and also if you have a statement that you would like to give to our secretary, Karen, who's sitting at that table to be submitted into the minutes, you can also feel free to do that. Yeah, and if someone else has already said what you have said, we just ask that you reconsider making your statement if you find that that's possible, just so that we can have enough time for everyone to make their comments. Thank you so much. And it looks like first we have Jeffrey Gonzalez.
Good evening. My name is Jeffrey Gonzalez.
My name is Smith Malfron. I'm Glenn Tucker. We are all current 8th graders at Kickamoo Middle School with a very important message to share that we hope you will really hear.
We are here today to give insight into what goes on in our everyday classes. We are also here to inform you about our feelings towards problems that have been occurring at Kickamoo Middle School. Our educations are being destroyed, which is becoming the normal. We were concerned enough to request a meeting with Principal Holman about what goes on in our classes. However, we feel as though we need to share our point of view with the school committee since we are in the environment every single day. One major issue is that on the Team Phoenix, we have been without a math teacher since September. There have been a few long-term subs that have not worked out due to personal issues and behavioral issues. We deserve a full-time math teacher. We are scared for next year because we are going to be behind, and this is not acceptable. We have been assured that everyone working on this problem and has been doing their best to find teachers, but their best has seemed to realize that it may not be good enough anymore.
The disrespect shown between students and teachers is unacceptable. We feel as though there's not a line between what is right and what is wrong. Even the students who are usually on their best behaviors have started to try and bend the rules. For example, walking out of classes without permission. Us as students have become too comfortable with the lack of respect towards students and teachers, to the point where it becomes emotionally exhausting for the staff and students. On a daily basis, we see students talking back to teachers, making rude faces, as well as making cruel comments. We strongly believe that respect does not need to be earned regardless of the situation. Respect should be a given. As soon as one person does not show respect and or breaks a school rule, it creates a domino effect. Next year, most of us will be going to high school, and unfortunately, it will be a rude awakening to many. With your help, we would like to create those guidelines again and be able to give respect and receive respect from many.
We hear several people blame the teachers, other students, TAs, vice principals, the principal, the superintendent, parents, and the entire district. But in reality, everyone's at fault. We need to push for better solutions, and we just need some change. I believe they are all more than capable of doing so. Students should take responsibility for their actions and receive a consequence. They should also be a teacher in the 8th grade Team Pink's math class. Students should receive and be rewarded for good behavior. We could use PBIS, which stands for Positive Behavior Interventions and Supports. This is a resource that can help all students in school to achieve social, emotional, and academic success. We would like to see class placement taken into more consideration. For example, instead of just looking at our STAR and RICAS scores, maybe think about how well that person does in the classroom and if they need to be challenged or not. Those are just some of the solutions we'd like to see used or at least thought about. My peers tell me it's too late in the year to make change. They tell me you're leaving in a few months anyway, so what do you care? But I do care because change doesn't take long. It's almost completely just a change of attitude. I will have my 4 younger siblings coming to Kickamoo over the next few years, and I'm not going to have them experience what I and many others have been through this year. We are determined to change our school for the better, and we need your help. Because we're losing the education we want, need, and deserve. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and that was Jeffrey, Gwyneth, and Sam. I'm sorry, I didn't know you were all going to go up together, but thank you so much. It's so important to me, and I'm sure my colleagues here, to hear the student voice. It's invaluable to us, and we don't get to hear it enough, so thank you truly for coming. And next we have Beth Francis and Liz Lima.
Good evening. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Bethany Francis. I have 3 children who have attended Hugh Cole Elementary School, Rockwell Elementary School, Coe Andrews Elementary School, and Hickamuit Middle School. I am a former middle school student at KMS myself, as well as a graduate of Mount Hope High. During my time studying secondary education and early childhood education, I spent a great deal of time as both a student observer and teacher in many classrooms throughout many schools. Reflecting back on it all, I probably spent more time of my life in classrooms than out of them. I have a true passion for the importance of the work of educating our children, which is something I would like to think I share with those of you sitting in front of me right now. Over this past year, what my daughter has experienced firsthand at Hickamuit Middle School and what my family has experienced while trying to advocate for her has led me to the realization that there are some people making life-altering decisions for the students of Bristol Warren Regional School District who don't seem to share the passion and or understand the impact of their poor decision-making and lack of respect for students, teachers, families, and community. Anyone who can state that we are not a district in crisis right now after hearing some of the things that are happening in our schools needs to step aside and allow the people who really do care to start making better choices for our children. These issues can no longer continue to be brushed under the rug. No more band-aids, no more excuses, no more lies, ignoring, and prolonging. While bringing forth some of these issues to the district over the course of the past few months, these are the responses that I have been given time and time again. I was told on January 28th at the last school committee meeting that I would be finally given a written response to the issues by the school committee in 2 to 3 weeks. It has been over 4 weeks now, and nobody has had the decency or respect to give me anything. And then recently it's been brought to my attention that it has been proposed to cut teachers throughout the district. As a student and a parent, I'm here to say that one of the most valuable assets, besides the one teacher assistant secretary that I had an issue with, is our teachers. Cutting teachers is not something that we should be considering at this point. Our teachers are in here today. There are many teachers that have impacted me firsthand and my children, and there has got to be other places in the budget where we can cut before we cut our most valuable asset.
I'm here just to receive my answer. We've been through this since October 22nd, where we were in executive session. We have been told time and time again that you'll get to us, you'll find out what your abilities are to do to resolve our issues, and we have been met with no resolve. I currently have an open case with the Rhode Island Department of Education. I have asked them to please pause it until I heard the answer that I was looking for from you guys. And again, it's been months and months and I have not received my answer. So I'm either looking for my answer tonight, or I'm informing you, as I did in the last email, that tomorrow morning I will be calling the Rhode Island Department of Education and unpausing my case.
Thank you. As you will
Our son, Braden, is a student in the 2nd grade at Cole Andrews School and has been clinically diagnosed with ADHD, anxiety, and very low executive function. Before we continue, we do want to note what a wonderful, actually an amazing teacher Braden has this year. Mrs. Nicole Correa is a teacher who makes the classroom an enjoyable place to be, is willing to modify lessons and classroom routines to meet the needs of our son, and who is always available to communicate in regard to questions or concerns that we have. A very different experience than we had last year. Our son is emotional about school and experiences daily anxiety and anger about his schoolwork because he is being failed by this district. As parents who are very involved in trying to help and do the right thing for our child who struggles daily, gets upset, emotional, because he doesn't understand his work. He falls apart at home because he has no more energy to hold himself together. Our son does receive RTI for reading, thank goodness, and an IEP for speech, but that will be terminated as of June. Unfortunately, we feel as though the Bristol Warren School District is failing our son since we have asked for math help and keep getting denied. The job of any school district is to provide the students with the best quality education possible, while supporting the individual needs of each student, which in turn will help them succeed in life. Since this is not being done, not only is it appalling to us, but it's actually heartbreaking that it's happening here. In conclusion, our son Braden is one of the children who will be entering 3rd grade next year, the same grade in which the superintendent has proposed to remove a classroom teacher and increase class size. The level of detriment that this decision would cause to our son's already suffering education is immeasurable. Just when we thought it couldn't get any worse, the possibility that it could is existent. Our son is at a 1st grade level in all academic areas, yet the school system still doesn't feel he needs more services, rather a bigger class size. We ask that you take into consideration the fact that 50% of the 2nd grade has identified needs, 50% of the classes below grade level in math, and 30% are below grade level in reading. As a parent, these statistics are horrifying. This is Braden and our story, but there are many other stories equal or even worse to ours going on every day in this district school. We strongly urge you to please do the right thing for these children. Try to imagine how you would feel if you were living in our world. Maybe some of you have and understand. If so, please convince your counterparts why this is very important. ADHD is not just being not focused. There's more to it. Our son's brain is comparable to a child with autism because of the very low executive function. And a child with autism would never be denied. Please do the right thing. It's not about numbers or money. It's about these children getting the support they need in a smaller class size to help them understand and be able to succeed in life. We will never have another teacher like Nicole Correa, and this decision to eliminate the class will cause even more concerns than already exist for children similar to Braden. Finally, let's be the first school district in the state that doesn't just talk the talk, but actually walks the walk when it comes to no child left behind. Thank you.
Next we have Elizabeth O'Shea.
My name is Elizabeth O'Shea. I'm the parent of two second graders at Cold Andrews Elementary who will be in the 3rd grade class that's been talked about tonight. First of all, I'd like to submit a petition. The petition was parents and teachers and grandparents. The heading on the petition is plans are in place to cut a 3rd grade teacher from Cold Andrews for the 2019-2020 school year. Please sign the petition below to oppose this decision. Although our 2nd grade classes have lower numbers, One size does not fit all schools. It would be irresponsible to increase class size to 23 as our school community is transient, and those numbers could easily increase past the 24 student workable class size limit before or after the start of next school year. Research has clearly shown that small classes in grade K through 3 have lasting positive outcomes for students, especially for those students at risk. In addition to the possibility of greater numbers by next school year, our second grade may be in greater need of reasonable class size per the following statistics. Tara actually already read this. Was the 50% of our second grade have identified needs, 50% of our second grade are below in math by 1 grade level or more, 30% of our second grade are below level in reading by 1 grade level or more. Administration needs to consider the individual needs of our classrooms rather than focus solely on the numbers. Thank you for your support. And we received over 250 signatures. Clearly, you can see that this is something that really concerns our Colt Andrews community. While we were making this petition and having it signed, my daughter got very upset and said that there should be a kid petition. So my daughter, Esme, made up a petition for kids, and there's over 30 signatures here. And actually, I got several emails today about how other children were upset that they didn't get to sign it. Okay. I just want to make a couple points that in support of keeping the third grade teacher, and especially keeping it in the proposed budget. Colt Andrews is a Title I school by design. The school department has purposely drawn lines to include as many students as possible from low-income areas of Bristol. That is measured by a free and reduced lunch eligibility. This gets the district a Title I school designation and the federal funds that go along with it. However, when you concentrate on students that come from lower income households, you are concentrating student needs. Students from lower socioeconomic levels are more at risk in terms of behavior, poor literacy rates, learning difficulties, etc. When you concentrate need, you must also concentrate resources. These children in Title I schools are especially in need of supports, but when you take away teachers to pay for the supports, you're taking away the very foundation of our schools. No amount of support will hold up our schools if you take away that very foundation. Furthermore, this cut is very disruptive for a one-year solution for a dip in enrollment in one class. The following year, the third grade will need 3 teachers due to the larger enrollment of the class behind this class, this year's first grade. The class could easily go over the class maximum of 24 students, third grade, after the start of next year. Overages are not okay, and especially not in a Title I school. Research clearly supports that smaller class size in grades K through 3 has long-lasting improvements in student outcomes. We should not be exceeding class size limits in any school in the district. This has been done repeatedly in the past few years and must stop. Colt Andrews was awarded a National Blue Ribbon for closing the achievement gap in 2018. One of only 36 schools in the entire nation to receive that designation. There were 349 total Blue Ribbon schools, which alone is an achievement. But to get the closing of the achievement gap is an even greater distinction. Only 36 schools in the entire nation. Our community that consists of our principals, teachers, students, staff, and parents works very hard together to ensure that all students know that they belong to the greater Colt Andrews community, and we support them. This is how Colt Andrews is overcoming its demographic. Please let what's happening at Colt Andrews serve as a model to other schools. Support it, nurture it, build on this community to include all of the Bristol Warren schools. Please do not break it down. You just might not be able